G'day, Ron here from Osborne Digital Marketing. Today I'm going to show you how to do keyword research. Now, before we get started, it's important to consider why you're doing the keyword research. Perhaps you're looking at creating a blog post, perhaps you're looking to create some new content for a website that you're launching, perhaps you just want to write a cool article somewhere. Always make sure that you understand the intent of the keyword that you're searching for. So, if in a situation you are looking to create a piece of affiliate content, so a blog post to sell a product. Now, I'm just going to use an example here from my personal experience so it's relatable. Now, I've got a Canon Mark II camera. If you were to spend your time investing in a piece of content to create and move sales for a camera, it's probably not advisable to go away and create a piece of content that says the top 5 cameras for YouTube. Why? Because at that stage of the funnel, I'm sitting there and looking for information. I'm not looking to purchase a product just yet. I'm not going to go away and buy an expensive camera because I looked at one article. It's not going to happen. So you're better off thinking about what keyword, what power, what intent that keyword has. So when I was looking, I finally made my decision after reading all of the articles to buy a Canon. My keywords would have been buy a Canon Mark II camera instead of the top 5 YouTube cameras. So it's very important that you understand the intent behind your keyword research that you're doing, the user's intent that will be reading and searching for that keyword. That's why I always mention that, because it's super critical. What we're going to do today is not blog research. We're going to pretend that we're a new business. So we're starting up a Miami plumbing company and we're trying to do some research for that. We're trying to figure out what keywords we need. Okay, so we're going to go away. We're going to have a look at some competitors. We're going to start by doing some grunt work. We're going to put in the effort just off the top of our head, and then we're going to expand on that. And I'm just going to constantly grow everything out. Now, unfortunately, the free keyword tools, they are okay. You can utilize a couple of them, and I'm sure I've got some videos on it. But the only tool we will be using today that's free is SEOStack. SEMRush is obviously expensive, yes, but if you are an SEO agency or you are trying to create SEO-friendly content, you should be either utilizing an agency or perhaps even paying for this for the month while you create the content for your website. You can't go wrong if you pay for it 1 month and then bail after that month, especially if you get some valuable insight from it. But if you're looking for something cheaper, I'll have a link to ShineRanker, some other cheaper tools down below. Just check them out. So what we want to do is we want to get started. So like I said, we're looking to do a plumbing company in Miami. So what you want to do is you want to begin with what's known as seed keywords. So I'm on SEMRush. I've scrolled down in the left column and I'll come over here. So we'd want to begin with the basics. So Miami plumber in Miami. And this is exactly what you would do if you're an electrician, if you're a recruiting firm, if you're in e-commerce, all of these types of things. These are known as seed keywords. You're beginning your idea from here, okay? So plumber in Miami, emergency plumber, plumber near me. We can set filters for that. Let's just move that down one and add that. We want to look at 24-hour plumber, perhaps industrial plumbing, depending upon what you're doing. You get the idea. You would fill out all of your main services that you believe. So all I'm going to do now, make sure that you're, depending upon which country you're in, if you're back home in wonderful Australia, then you would hit that. You're in the UK, Germany, you get what I'm pointing at. So we hit search. Now, what's going to happen is we want to look at a couple of things. We want to look at the volume. We want to look at the keyword difficulty. And we just want to start to see what the cost per click is, because this is very important. I like looking at the cost per click because it's telling me how much that keyword's actually worth. If people are really spending money on it, then it's moving the needle. If they're willing to pay $20 for a click for emergency plumber, well, obviously individuals are probably making money. So that's something to consider. Now, as an example, you can obviously see that the volume is 165,000 in the US. You can break that apart further if you would like. Emergency plumber. And what we can do is, as an example, let's do emergency plumber in Miami. Let's throw that one in there. See how many searches that has. Very little, apparently. Let's do a refresh and see. It would be at least something. There's emergency plumber is a word that is frequently used. But as you can see, plumber in Miami, this is probably where we'd commence the campaign. So you can see that the keyword difficulty is 50, so it is quite challenging. There's 260 searches a month, so it's relatively difficult, and the cost per click is $11. However, if you're a local plumber, you don't want to go with something too crazy. Like, you don't want to just have plumber. If you're in Miami, say you're from Miami, and as you expand, you go out into the further areas, like up near Fort Lauderdale, near me, that's when you would start to add different pages. But if we're just launching the website for the purpose of this video, Miami, plumber in Miami is perhaps what we can have on the main page. So 260, 50. Now what you can do is you can export this data. I'm not going to export it because we already know the keyword, but we're going to actually expand on it. So now that we have this, we can sit there and be like, okay, this is the keyword that I want to use. What I highly suggest you do is you do have a spreadsheet, something like this, where you are putting in the keywords that you want to utilize. So plumber in Miami is what we're going to roll with across our site. So we can just stick that in there for the time being. Now, when you export it, you're obviously going to have this data, but what I want to show you is we can expand on it. So I've clicked on it, and now we can start to go away and actually look at keyword variations, because perhaps there's something better. So let's click on, you've got keyword variations and you've got related keywords. So things that are related, but then you've got variations. So plumbing companies in Miami Beach, but then plumbers near Miami, Miami plumbers, like that's the difference. Related is quite similar. Variations are throwing in things like Miami Beach, plumbing companies in Miami, plumbing services in Miami. I like to start with variations to begin with, especially when you're doing local keyword stuff, because it's going to be quite relevant. It's not going to be something like plumber in New York when you're looking for something in Miami. It can happen, but if you keep it simple, then you can start to look at things. Now, if you notice this, plumbing in Miami has 320 searches, so more than plumber in Miami, as an example. So more than this. Now, if you think about it though, if you really sit back, what does it mean when someone types this in, plumbing in Miami? Are they actually maybe looking for a job? Are they looking more so for someone that, I guess you would say, come and lay his pipe? Are they looking for something that may not be an actual plumber? And that's where you need to really start to do your research. So plumbing in Miami, you can start to expand on it. You can keep scrolling down and start to see plumbing companies in Miami Beach, plumbing companies in Miami. As you can start to scroll down, it's probably not worth going after this keyword when there's 50 searches. Still quite difficult when you can see this up here. So you start with the tools, and then I'll show you another trick on what we can do. So that's us here. All right, let's export this data because we've looked at plumber in Miami. That was where we started. Let's just export all of this data and let's start putting it all together, because that's what keyword research is. It's literally research. You have to go through and you have to do a lot of grunt work to figure out what's important. If you do that right from the beginning, trust me, your SEO campaign, it's going to be so much easier. Like so much easier. All right, let's import this. Okay, so as you can see now in this sheet, I have all of this information here. let's just put that up there, and you can start to see the difficulty. Sometimes the information will obviously be left out, but what you can do is you can start to see by keyword volume. When you're local, it is best to go after volume compared to anything else, because you're local. It's not like you can expand after something. That there's no point in going after necessarily plumbing in Miami FL, because there's 10 searches. So most likely the SERP would be rewarding this keyword anyway, and that's something that we'll check. So when you are looking locally, it's quite important when you're doing keyword research that you make sure that you think about, one, the intent, super important. Think about what's the person actually looking for. I don't necessarily like plumbing in Miami because we're not looking for a plumber. We're looking for a plumber. That's specifically what we're doing. We're building a website around our plumbing services. Now, plumbing services in Miami is more relevant to me. It speaks more relevance. This to me could mean that someone's maybe looking for a plumbing job in Miami. So that's what you always want. Now, if you're not sure, this is how you find out. Grab the keyword, go over to Google, chuck it in. Let's see what happens. Let's see what's displayed. Let's have Google answer the question for us. Okay, so Hernandez plumbing, local plumbing experts. So it's pushing out plumbing, exactly my plumbers in Miami. So as you can see, that's what the SERP's telling us. It's telling us that it's going to go after that keyword anyway. So that's something really important to consider when you are looking at utilizing your keywords. Look at Google. Like that's why you're doing keyword research, to answer and facilitate the needs of Google. Don't try and reinvent the wheel when it comes to SEO. Just keep it sweet and simple. So as an example, you want to have a look at the top competitors. You've got a directory basically. So you've got Yelp saying the best plumbers. So they're just there because of their authority. These guys are there because it says plumbing, the local plumbing experts. So it's not too hard to probably go after. But as we start scrolling down, Falcon Plumbing, they're just ranking because of their name, Miami Plumber, but then Miami Plumbers, Plumbing. So plumbers, plumbing, plumbers it's really just a mix. It's not showing everything around plumbing. So that's how you could tell that probably utilizing that, because yes, it's less difficult, but it's probably better to rely on the plumber in Miami. And the reason I would prefer plumber in Miami is because I personally feel that it's more specific. So let's have a look and let's see how the competitiveness is exactly the same. According to this, you would need to do more research into looking at the links and everything else like that. And I will show you that. But the keyword difficulty, everything else is relatively the same. So what we can do is have a look at the SERP features to start to see what they're rewarding, what's being displayed. And it looks like there's less things being displayed. When there's less being displayed as SERP features, it normally means that it's not as hard to go after. When they're showing a ton of stuff, a ton of fancy different things, it means that it's quite popular. So it's getting smashed a lot by the SERP. So that's always something to consider. Less is sometimes more. So this would probably be, for me, I'd be leaning on plumber in Miami. That's plumber compared to Ing. It's something that I would be going after. Yes, you might be losing out on 60 searches, but I can assure you that these search terms would probably be quite similar. And according to what's being shown, it more so looks like that you're not going to be able to outpace the competitors there. So when you are doing keyword research, always have a look to see what Google's doing. Now, the next thing that you want to do is look at your competitor, see what they're doing. Because sometimes, let's say you're looking at maybe writing an article, or you're looking at creating additional service pages for your content, and you don't know where to go, what to add. This is where looking at a competitor can be super powerful. So let's grab the keyword that we're looking to go after. So plumber in Miami. Let's go back over to Google. Let's throw that in. and let's see. Okay, so it's basically saying and showing the same SERP. So like I was saying before, it's pretty much the exact same. It's going to reward either or keyword. Okay, so let's have a look at these guys, or actually these guys, they're higher up. Okay, so Hernandez, zoom out a little bit. So they've got a few links coming in. They have a smaller website. This is the SEO Quake. It's good to have a look at this because it'll give you a bit of information. You can see the estimated traffic. So that's pretty cool. So having a look, just scrolling down. They don't have a lot of content on their homepage at all. That's very small. But what we can do is we grab their domain, come over to this tool, back into SEMRush, and we put in their domain. Now what you're doing is you're looking to see what keywords they're ranking for, okay? So if we scroll down, we can have a look. So they've invested in a little bit of PPC for a while, but they've been absolutely smashed back then. Wow. Ranking for 2,500 keywords, and now they're ranking for 1,000. Ouch. That would have hurt. So you scroll down to top organic keywords. Click on top organic keywords. And what we're looking for is we want to look at the information that they're ranking for, because we will be able to see what the actual keyword is. Never be too strict with a keyword. Never sit there and just be like, this is the keyword that's perfect for me. Do all of this. Start with your intent. Look at it. Start with your seed keywords. Once you know what you want to go after, you move on to your seed keywords. From there, type it into Google. Once you've found, you looked at all of the other relative ones that are very similar. From there, go to Google. See what Google's showing up for that keyword, because it might be a listicle. It might be something else. You might need to structure the content differently. Always important to consider. Look at Google. From there, in Google, grab your competitor. Have a look at what they're doing. See what they're being rewarded for. And that's what we're doing right now. So plumbing Miami, okay? Plumbing in Miami. As you can see, all of these guys, they're getting branded. Apparently they're getting a lot of traffic through branded. That's very interesting, especially when they're 4 in the map pack. So plumbing services Miami, you can start to see all of this information. So what we can do is, same as before, export the data. Export it CSV. It's 900 keywords that we can look at, that we can really figure out and try and find some juicy stuff. Come back over to here. Let's add something. So this can be our competitor page. File, import, upload, drag this over here. Replace spreadsheet, okay, current sheet. Yep. So we don't want to lose the first sheet. We only want to replace this one. So you can start to see what position they're ranking for, the search volume, the keyword difficulty, the cost per click. Cost per click is a great little insight, the traffic. Now, something that's awesome about SEMRush, it's showing you the percentage of traffic they're getting. So they are getting most of their traffic for plumbing Miami. Now, what you need to think about is when you are going after specific keywords, is it better competing for them against plumbing Miami or something a little bit further down the line? So let's just scroll down maybe a little bit where they're not doing so well. So plumber in Miami FL, they're in position 3. Perhaps if you launch your website, because it's a fresh, brand new website, you're more likely going to outpace them. Plumbers in Miami. These types of words could be something that you actually go after. Now, it looks a little bit more difficult, and you would need to do, again, it is the process over again. So now we would go back to Google, we would look at this and go, okay, well, we probably can't beat them here because they're a bigger website, they've got more links, they've been around for a couple of years. All of this you need to look into. Obviously not covering backlinks in this one. This is about keyword research. So this is how to do keyword research, not how to figure out backlinks. So you're better off scrolling down a little bit further, around 3, 4, 5, bottom of the first page. Have a look to see Miami Plumbing Services. Okay, you can see all of this information here. Miami Plumbing. Okay, so that's interesting. They're not doing too well for that. So what you would do from here is you would grab this, go back into Google, see who's ranking #1 for that. Tear them apart, see have they got a lot of links coming in. Just utilizing the SEO Quake. If you do have SEMRush, you can obviously chuck them in and check on their backlinks that way. But you will just do the process over and over again until you start to find some keywords that you believe that you could go after, that your competitors are still performing for, but you might be able to knock them off with the right amount of links, the right amount of on-page SEO, and a little bit of luck. So that's how I would go about finding service keywords if you're building your new website, like how to do the keyword research for a new website as an example. Now let's say that you're looking for some ideas about a blog post. Let's just utilize this example so I can show you and we don't have to go through all of it again. Perhaps you want to create a blog post and you don't know what to write about. Have a look at your competitors. Type that keyword in, type something similar. So like we were looking to write a blog as an example, something that's relevant to a Miami plumber. Have a look at the competitors because they'll probably have something similar. So shower pan repair, replace cast iron drain pipe under a house. There you go. That could be an interesting blog post. That's something that might be worth writing about. How to repair cast iron sewer pipe. Okay. Something else to write about. They're sitting in position 16. You might be able to outpace them if you write a great piece of article. You can go away and have a look at that actual article to see how well they're doing. Another thing you can do is you can scroll over here, have a look at the actual URL. So what's bringing in the most amount of their traffic. So this is somewhere where you can look for it and do additional keyword research. So if we sit here and go click on this, select all, get rid of it all. Yep, let's just have a look at the home page. Now, if I click on this, let's get rid of this bar down the bottom. If I click on this, let's see. So 800 searches are coming, like landing on their homepage. They're winning most of their traffic from their homepage. You can literally find out an exact percentage. 85% of their traffic is coming into their homepage. So all of this information up here, most of it is all of this stuff up here. Okay, so the reason that's important to figure out where they're getting most of their traffic is, can you do exactly the same? Can you essentially look at their keywords and figure that information out? This is how you can do effective keyword research, because it is quite challenging to find low difficult keywords, especially if you're a local business. Everyone always says, oh, just go out there, find the low difficulty keywords. Why? Like we could easily go out there and create something super long tail, but if Miami plumber that has a white van and a pink roof, yeah, we can rank you #1 for that, but who's searching for that? There's no point in doing low difficulty. You need to be, if you're doing a service business, if you're creating a company, you need to be focusing on the challenging things. Yes, you need to try and find your way into that nice middle ground where you would have a chance to fight against the guys that have been there for quite some time, which is why I explained, go away, you do the research, you look at where they're not performing so well. Then you look at the ones that are performing well in Google. Then you hit them again with the tool. You see where they're weak, and eventually you will come across that perfect keyword. Yes, it's still going to be challenging, but you don't want to rank for that keyword plumber in Miami with a white van and a pink roof. Who cares if you're ranked #1? Doesn't matter. It's not relevant to your business. You want to be going after something that's actually going to bring in keywords to your business. So when you're doing your keyword research, it's super important to consider all of this. Now, if you are doing keyword research for a blog post, very, very similar to this. Start with Google. Google's a great place to start. You can utilize a couple of free tools, and I'm going to show you one of them now. So let's say you were talking more so along the lines about, let's say you wanted to find out about the best gym shirts. So what you can do is you can come into something like SEOStack. I'll leave a link below, completely free tool, and you can type in, let's type in men's gym shirts. All right. Now with this, you can do A to Z, prepositions. You can ask questions. So let's just have a look. If we get rid of all of that, and let's just have questions. So what this is going to do right now is it's going to go through and start to look at questions. So can guys wear leggings to the gym? Well, I'm saying no to that. Yeah, I don't think anyone likes a pressed ham sandwich. Yeah, but as you can see, you can start to get ideas for your blog. You can start to answer some questions. So if you are doing a blog, if you are talking about anything, perhaps you're an affiliate that sells gym wear, gym attire, this is how you can go away and simply get some awesome, insightful ideas. You can scroll through. You can have the prepositions on where it's, how, can, all of these essentially like it is. But it's very, very similar. So you can scroll through how men's gym shirts made, how men's gym shirts material, all of these types of things you can go through and actually tear it apart. Great ideas. When you're doing keyword research, you want to look at the ideas. Once we've found it, so let's do this as an example, how to make men's gym shirts. Okay, next step, throw it into Google, see what Google's rewarding. Let's see what Google's saying. Okay, so they're rewarding it with a video. Important, you should make a video if you're going after this. Absolutely, they're pushing the videos all the way to the top. So you now know if you're going to create a blog, don't do it unless you're willing to create a YouTube video as well. No point. Google is rewarding videos for this. So the SERP is made up of videos. You've got some people also asked, great spot to put in some additional questions into that blog. How to make your own workout T-Tank, yep, DIY Pinterest. So this is probably something that you could actually rank for, wouldn't actually be too difficult to rank for. But you want to see what style is going on the SERP too. So if you let's just pretend that this had, let's just say it was something along the lines of like, it's got 10 best workouts for CrossFit, shirts for CrossFit, 15 best shirts for running in the snow, all of these types of things, then you would know that it's a listicle search. So you want to create your piece of content around a listicle structured content. You don't necessarily want to just talk about, how to make gym shirts, like just one piece of thing. You'd want to be like how to make a men's shirt for the snow, how to make one for the summer, how to make one for NFL, how to make one for rugby back home in Australia. As an example, that's what you always need to consider. When you do your keyword research, look for it, then place that exact keyword in Google and see what is being rewarded. Guys, I hope I've answered the question of how to do keyword research. It is a very easy process. It just takes time and research. You've got to be willing to retrace your steps and go back and forward. It's great if you utilize a spreadsheet. This will help you keep track and identify what you want to go after. All you would do in this situation is you would move to your next service. So perhaps you're, like I said before, the emergency plumbing. Then you move into the next stage of that. So it's very, very, very straightforward. If you're a plumbing contractor, you would grab that keyword, you go away and you do the research again, and you just constantly do the research. Once you've found the research, then you go away and do your on-page SEO to make sure that you've got more effective content than the other individuals. Then after that, you go away and do your link building. So keyword research, create awesome on-page content, and then go away and do your link building, and you should be up there. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure that you hit that like button. It goes a long way, and I've enjoyed making it. Have a lovely day. Cheers.